What if I told you that the greatest force in the universe isn't something you have to search for, but something you need to uncover within yourself? Imagine for a moment that the key to unlocking your soul's full potential lies in loving without conditions, without barriers, without expectations. What would it mean to live in that space? In the chaos of daily life, love often becomes a mere emotion, fleeting and contingent on circumstances. Yet when we delve deeper into the ancient teachings of mystics like Rumi, love reveals itself as a force that transcends the superficial. For Rumi, unconditional love isn't just a concept. It's the pathway to spiritual awakening, the force that reconnects us with the divine. But what does that truly mean? How can love as a pure and selfless energy unlock the hidden potential of our soul? Today we will explore this profound teaching, one that challenges everything we think we know about love, and reveals how this simple yet powerful force can illuminate the path to our highest self. We live in a world where love is often seen as transactional. We love because we are loved in return, or because it brings us something we desire. But what if love was not a means to an end, but an end in itself? The challenge is this: most of us only scratch the surface of love's true power. We place conditions on it, limit it, and because of that, we never fully experience its transformative force. So, how can we break free from the confines of conditional love and tap into the endless wellspring that lies within us? How can we transform love from a mere feeling to a profound practice, one that awakens the deepest parts of our soul? Rumi's teachings on unconditional love go far beyond romantic affection or familial attachment. To him, love is a sacred force, an energy that flows from the divine and returns to the divine. In his poetry and writings, Rumi often speaks of love as something that unites us with the divine presence, something that transcends the boundaries of the physical world and connects us to the infinite. When we talk about unconditional love, we are speaking of love without expectation, love that is not bound by time, place, or circumstance. This is not a love that seeks validation. It does not ask for anything in return. It does not measure its value by the reaction it gets from others. It simply exists as a force of unity, a natural state of being that we can all access. The journey to experiencing this love is not about becoming something we are not. It's about returning to a state of pure awareness, where the barriers that separate us from this love dissolve. To unlock the full potential of your soul, you must first recognize that love is not something you find or receive. It is something you embody. It is already within you, waiting to be awakened. You don't have to search the world for love. You only need to turn inward and reconnect with the love that is your true essence. This is a profound shift, because most of us are conditioned to look outside of ourselves for the fulfillment of our needs. But the truth is that all we truly need exists already within us. To love unconditionally is to break free from the limited, ego-driven mind that constantly seeks validation and approval. It is to transcend the need for external affirmation and instead anchor ourselves in the truth of who we are, beings of love, created in the image of the divine. This shift begins with a recognition. You are not separate from the divine, and you are not separate from others. There is no them and you, there is only us, and we are all expressions of the same universal love. When you realize this, you begin to see the interconnectedness of all things. Every person you encounter, every situation you face, becomes an opportunity to practice love. Not a love that is conditional or transactional, but a love that simply is. It exists in the very air you breathe, in the people around you, in the actions you take. One of the greatest illusions we hold is the idea that we need to earn love, or that we need to prove our worthiness of it. The ego is constantly at work, convincing us that love must be earned, that we must be deserving of it, that we must meet certain conditions to receive it. But Rumi tells us that love is not something you earn. It is something you are. You are worthy of love simply because you exist. In the same way, others are worthy of love because they exist too. When we love without conditions, we transcend judgment. We see the beauty in others, not because of what they do for us, but because they too are expressions of the divine. As you begin to practice unconditional love, you'll notice that the judgments you once held toward others start to fade away. The urge to criticize or condemn diminishes, and in its place, a deep sense of compassion and empathy arises. Compassion is an essential aspect of unconditional love. It is the ability to feel the pain of others without judgment, to offer kindness even when you don't understand the full context of someone's situation. Compassion allows you to be present with others, to see them in their full humanity, without the need to change them or fix them. This love, however, is not one that is passive. It is not about remaining quiet in the face of injustice or remaining passive when faced with suffering. Unconditional love requires action. It calls us to stand up for what is right, to act with kindness and courage, and to help others discover the love that resides within themselves. The difference is that this love does not come from a place of ego, of seeking validation or approval. It comes from a place of service, a place of deep compassion and connection. It is important to understand that unconditional love is not always easy. It challenges us to confront our fears, our insecurities, and our attachments. We may have been hurt in the past, and the idea of loving without conditions can feel risky because it requires us to be vulnerable. But vulnerability is the doorway to deeper connection. It is through vulnerability that we can truly experience the fullness of love, because it is through vulnerability that we allow ourselves to be seen without the walls we have built around ourselves. The act of loving unconditionally requires us to let go of our attachments to the past and to future expectations. It asks us to be fully present in the moment, to be open and accepting of whatever comes. This doesn't mean we stop setting boundaries or taking care of ourselves. Unconditional love is not about being a doormat or allowing ourselves to be mistreated. It is about accepting others as they are, without judgment, while also honoring ourselves and our own needs. As you embody unconditional love, you begin to feel a profound sense of peace and inner calm. The mind becomes quieter, the heart more open, and the soul more aligned with the divine. Love ceases to be something you do, it becomes who you are. When you live from this place of unconditional love, you step into a higher state of being. You move beyond the limitations of the ego, beyond the pain of the past, and into a space of pure divine connection. This is the ultimate gift of unconditional love. It is not just about transforming others, it is about transforming yourself. As you love without conditions, you unlock the deepest parts of your soul. You reconnect with your true nature, the essence of who you are. And in this process, you come to understand that the potential of your soul is limitless. Through this love, you find the clarity to pursue your soul's purpose, the courage to face challenges with grace, and the wisdom to live in harmony with the universe. Unconditional love is not a destination. It is a journey. It is a continual practice, a commitment to living from the heart, to seeing beyond the surface, and to embracing the divinity in all things. Rumi's words echo through time, reminding us that love is the most powerful force we can harness. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. When we love unconditionally, we align ourselves with the divine flow of life, and we unlock the infinite potential of our souls. This is where the true magic happens. When you surrender to love in its purest form, you unlock your soul's potential in a way that no other practice can. Unconditional love is not merely an act towards others, it is an act of deep self-awareness and transformation. When you stop placing conditions on your love, you start recognizing your own divine nature. The judgments, fears, and insecurities that once defined you begin to dissolve. You become less bound by the illusions of the material world and more attuned to the spiritual realm. In this space, you realize that your soul is not separate from others, but a part of an infinite, interconnected whole. Your every action, your every thought, your every breath becomes an expression of love, and in that expression, you touch the divine. Rumi captures this beautifully. You were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life? The path to unlocking your soul's potential is deceptively simple. Love unconditionally. But it is in this simplicity that the greatest challenges lie. To love without boundaries, without conditions, requires us to let go of the very things that have defined us for so long. Our attachments, our fears, our judgments. Yet, when we take that leap, when we surrender to love as it is meant to be, we discover a depth of connection and peace that is beyond comprehension. Unconditional love is not just the key to spiritual awakening, it is the doorway to our truest selves, waiting to be discovered. If you're ready to unlock your soul's potential, embrace the love that exists within you, unconditional and boundless. Subscribe and explore more teachings that guide you to your highest self.